What's up, everyone? Welcome into MJT Football. You guys know I've been doing Mike's Pickems Challenge on TikTok, and I am bringing it to YouTube to challenge Joe and Tony to try and beat me. Well, and all of you. I'll tell you all how to enter on the other side of this short break. Here we are, picking every game all season long and seeing who gets the most correct. I'm here with Joe Morley, Tony Tucker. Joe, how you doing? You pumped for this?
I'm pumped up, ready to go. I already know one game we're going to be split on, but I'm ready to take Mike out in the Mike's Pick'em Challenge. It's going to be easy. It's going to be easy.
I wonder which game that might be. Tony, how you doing?
I tried to give you guys a one-game head start by taking the lowly Rams, and then you idiots did the same thing that I did.
That is true. We are all 0-1, ladies and gentlemen. So if you took the Bills and you entered your picks, you're up 1 on us right now. But we are going to be competing every single week, keeping track of the standings, looking back at it, and seeing who's winning. And, of course, we're going to be talking shit throughout the season based off of who's winning this Pick'ems Challenge. We want you guys to join in and take us on as well. There's a link in the description of this live stream or video. If you're watching the replay right now, you can go down there. Submit your picks. You can go down there and submit your picks. And I have a huge announcement. I'm putting a jersey on the line for the Pick'ems Challenge this week. Whoever comes in first of all the entrants in Mike's Pick'ems Challenge will be winning a jersey of their choice. So that way y'all can win yourself a brand new Chargers Khalil Mack jersey. They're flying off the shelves. They're going to be sold out soon. So you better win that Pick'ems Challenge. You ready to get into this?
I hope you got a big jersey because that's coming on this way, Mike. Send it. Browns fan 32, haven't seen you in a long time. What's going on? He says Browns over Panthers or he's out of this stream. So I hope we can make him happy today, but he's also 0-1 with his picks this week.
Well, let's save the Browns-Panthers game till the end then.
The last one.
All the way.
We got all these great games. We're going to save the Browns versus Panthers for the end. All right, let's get into it. We're already 0-1 with the Rams getting destroyed by the Buffalo Bills on Thursday night. The second game I have down here, and Joe, I know you're producing this whole thing. You're going to have to try and keep up with me and hope that we get this in the right order. We got the New Orleans Saints on the road taking on the Atlanta Falcons. For the Saints, obviously, this is a huge division game warm-up, I guess you could say. Jameis Winston's back after injury. He's a guy that could be a comeback player of the year candidate if he has a good year. And he is loaded up with weapons all of a sudden. They had problems with MT last year. They had problems with the receivers last year in general staying healthy and on the field. Now they got Jarvis, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Marcus Callaway still on that offense. The Saints are loaded up, and they still have that elite defense on the other side of the ball. For the Atlanta Falcons, a little bit of a change. Matt Ryan, their franchise quarterback over most of my lifetime, is gone off to Indianapolis. They got Marcus Mariota in now. What are you guys thinking for this pick right here? Joe, who you got?
Well, I'm looking at these two teams, and, of course, the Falcons are the worst team of both of them. The New Orleans has a lot of questions because we got to see if Winston's back from that injury. We got to see how they're going to do with Sean Payton gone, with Dennis Allen taking the role. But they, like you said, they still have a bunch of weapons. I'm starting Chris Olave this week in fantasy. I'm hoping he gets over the top because I'm not sure about that Falcons defense, right? But Falcons offense, right, supposedly has great weapons, supposedly get it going. Marcus Mariota back at the helm. I just don't think it's going to be enough for the Falcons.
All right, so I'm taking the Saints, no problem. But the thing that I'm most excited about in this is that there is the most unknown in this entire football game. We don't know what Jameis Winston's going to be like when he gets back. Michael Thomas is dealing with even more injuries. We want to know if we can start Chris Olave in fantasy. So the only known commodity in this entire game is Alvin Kamara. But then when I look at the Atlanta side of the football, it's like, are they going to go running back by committee? Is CPAC going to have another big year? Damian Williams, who's been a Super Bowl MVP, and then Tyler Algier. Will Drake London play? There's so much unknown in this, but it's pretty much the Saints defense is going to roll big time in this football game.
Yeah, I think this is a good warm up for New Orleans Saints. I'm going with the Saints as well in this matchup. I just think that Jameis Winston is going to come out with something to prove. Hopefully he's a little bit more efficient than he was on his previous teams. But we saw some improvements from Jameis early on last year. The Saints were looking like a little bit of a powerhouse, so I'm going with the Saints as well. All right, we said we're going to save it for last, but let's just go straight to it. Cleveland going to Carolina to play their old quarterback who is looking for revenge. Looking for revenge big time right now. Baker Mayfield obviously in Carolina now. The Browns are down their quarterback due to suspension, so they'll be fielding Jacoby Brissett. The Browns still have a lethal defense with Myles Garrett coming after Baker Mayfield. That's going to be a problem. But if the Panthers can handle that problem, maybe this Carolina offense with all the weapons that they have can get something going. And I think this is going to be a really good game. But, Joe, who are you taking in this one?
Taking the Carolina Panthers and Baker Mayfield, DJ Moore, and that offense, Christian McCaffrey and his little shin injury. I don't know what he has now, but I'm going with the Panthers. I mean, if Deshaun Watson was playing, I might have been different, but I want to see well, it's going to be – Tony's going to say, all you got to do is hand the ball off to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and you could win the game. But I want to see what else, because now I'm going to load the box on you and make Jacoby Brissett win the game for you. And I'm not buying Jacoby Brissett winning this game.
Okay. This game has crazy intrigue, obviously, because of Baker Mayfield. But I saw the forecast, and there's supposed to be rain there. That feels like a big Nick Chubb opportunity to carry the ball 16 to 20 times, rack up a bunch. I'm playing Nick Chubb in a couple fantasy leagues, so I hope that doesn't happen. But also, like, is Baker going to be stable enough? That's what I cannot wait to see. Like, mentally, I'm not sure where he's at selling T-shirts, but can he be stable enough in this offense to get the ball to all the weapons that they have, and hopefully CMC stays healthy?
Well, if it is rainy, if it is cold, if it is bad weather, that sucks for Cleveland, because now they're just going to lose in bad weather instead of just losing in good weather. I'm going with the Panthers as well. I think Baker Mayfield's the better quarterback. I think that the Panthers have more weapons on offense right now. And when you go look at the defensive side of the ball, the Panthers defense is not soft by any means. They're going to be around average, maybe a slightly above average defense this year. So I'm going with the Panthers. And Baker said he's going to F them up. That's some fighting words. You don't say that if you ain't going to come out with some passion, with some fire. All right, let's go on to San Francisco, heading into Chicago to play the Chicago Bears. The 49ers, obviously, the Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance thing's a big change for them. Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the roster now as the backup to Trey Lance heading into this game. The 49ers have the same offense other than the quarterback position, so we're going to see a good, efficient offense as long as Trey Lance doesn't turn the ball over like a maniac. The 49ers still have the same defense that they had last year, which was a monstrous defense with Nick Bosa leading the charge on that side of the ball. And the Bears just seem like they're completely falling apart. But maybe Justin Fields takes that leap and can elevate this team and be an elite quarterback. Joe, you're a big Justin Fields fan. Any chance for the Bears here?
Well, after watching what David Montgomery came out in the game plan, if you guys didn't see that, you guys can check out our short. But David Montgomery gave away the game plan. Basically, he said it's going to be easy. They're going to run the ball and they're going to pass the ball all over the 49ers. So, but no, I'm going with the Niners. I think the Niners defense steps it up. Bears are going to be a better team than they were last year, more competitive team. They're just not ready. They're not ready, Tony.
If David Montgomery played for the Patriots, he'd have been fined. You can't be giving away secrets of the offense like David Montgomery did. This game to me feels like the schedule makers were great. The problem is the Bears are not great. We both want to see Trey Lance and Justin Fields, but it'd be nice if we could see it maybe next year when the Bears spend a bunch of money in free agency. I don't think there's any chance. This defense is too good. I just hope Justin Fields makes it out healthy against that defensive line. That's what I'm really rooting for, is like, just get through this game without Nick Bosa and Javon Kinlaw, all these other defensive linemen for the 49ers ripping him apart. This one feels pretty easy to me. It was close to being my lock of the week.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think San Fran. I'm hoping that Justin Fields stays healthy as well, Tony. I have my own storylines going into this game because I started a league called the Flex Off, and it's a super deep 16-team, super flexes, all kinds of stuff. I waited on quarterback. I'm not sure how that strategy is going to work for me, but I have Trey Lance. I have Justin Fields. This game has to go well for me. I need a high-scoring game. I got the 49ers taking it. Oh, man. On to another division battle here. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers going to Cincinnati to play the defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals. More change for the Steelers here. And you're seeing a common theme here. There was a lot of change in the offseason in the NFL this year. We could see a lot of surprises. But the Pittsburgh Steelers obviously making the switch at quarterback. Big Ben retires. Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett in. Mitchell Trubisky set to start the season. They let Juju go, but they got George Pickens coming in. I think he's going to fill that role nicely. He's going to be that third receiver that they need him to be. And the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They got TJ Watt out there wrecking havoc. The Bengals saw their issue. They saw how they almost lost in every round of the playoffs and eventually in the Super Bowl, and that is the failures of the offensive line. They bring in basically an entire new one. They kept one guy from last year on their offensive line. The other four are completely replaced. Bengals defense looks similar. Weapon core is insane as it was last year once again. Joe, you got any hype here in Mitchell Trubisky, or are you going with Joe Breezy?
In Mitch, we trust. In Mitch, we trust. I like the signing. When they first signed Mitchell Trubisky, I said it was a good signing. He has weapons there. The wide receivers, the tight end, the running backs, all there. The offensive line is what's going to hold him up a little bit. But can he roll out? Can he do Mitchell Trubisky stuff? The only thing I don't like about Pittsburgh going into week 1 is I feel that they're a banged-up team. Me personally feel that they're banged up, that they're not 100%. That last preseason game kind of got to them a little bit. I think they played their starters a little bit too much, and they're going to pay for it. But I'm going with the Bengals.
Okay, I'm going with the Steelers in this game for one reason. I think that the Bengals start this game a little bit slow and come on strong. Like, Burrow missed a lot of time because he had the emergency appendectomy, which it's not like, I mean, nobody plays in the preseason, but they're at least in camp gaining continuity on a regular basis. He sat out a lot there. So I like the Steelers defense early because they're healthy. The one thing I am worried about for the Steelers is that offensive line. So maybe this is a lot of Najee Harris early on running the football, but I'm going to take a close victory by the Steelers here. One of those like ugly games, 23-20.
I think this is going to be a lot closer than everyone thinks as well. A lot of people are saying Bengals by 20, even in the comments right now. But I think that there's two huge mismatches. The Bengals defense trying to tackle Najee Harris if he gets on the loose, and the Bengals offensive line trying to slow down TJ Watt. And those could be fail points. Because if you run the ball and you play good defense, you can stop really good offenses like what the Bengals have from running up that score, and it comes down to a 2-minute game all of a sudden. If the Bengals were on the road in Pittsburgh, I would probably pull the trigger on a Pittsburgh upset here. But I'm going to go with the Bengals as well with Joe. So, Tony, you got two chances there. Browns and the Steelers, AFC North. Could change this for you.
It's looking like a good week. A good week 1 for old TT here.
So far, Mike and I are 2-0 with the Cats.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, from cats to cats, right? We got the Detroit Lions hosting the Philadelphia Eagles in Detroit. We've obviously seen Hard Knocks. The Lions are a team that you can tell is going off of grit more than talent maybe this season. See what I did there? The grit phrase? Anyways, and the Philadelphia Eagles are going for talent over grit. They brought in a haul of players in the offseason up until like a week ago when they were still making moves on really good defensive backs in the NFL. I think the Eagles defense is going to be super good this year, and they were solid last year, and they're going to be that team that is going to run the ball a ton, but then try and hit you with that play action or just let Jalen Hurts be mobile and extend plays, and that's when Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown are going to go to work in the passing game. I think the Eagles are a way better team than the Lions, and I don't see the point of victory for the Lions other than the Eagles completely choking. But, Joe, what are you thinking? I just kind of tipped my pick. Any chance here? I know you're high on the Lions. You got them winning 10 games. This could be one of them.
Yeah, I got them winning 10 games, but this is not going to be one of them. I just because something in me is telling me that the Eagles are going to have a great defense. We've seen them lined up. We've seen the players that they brought in this offseason. Can they all go together and make this a blowout? I don't know if it's going to be such a big blowout. I think the Lions are going to hang in this game, and I almost went with the Lions. Like, this was one of the games where I'm like, but I just because I don't. Unlike most people, I'm not a big Jalen Hurts fan. I'm not big on this offense because this offense, it seemed like me every game last year started off slow and then got better as the second half came. So I'm not big on the offense, but it's Detroit and it's the Detroit Lions, and I am buying the hype, but I'm not giving them number one this one.
Okay, Joe Morley, not a big Jalen Hurts fan. Then why'd you steal him from me in our fantasy league, huh?
Trade him to you?
Yeah, you'll trade him to me.
Shoot
I don't
it.
want him anymore. I got Kirk Cousins. Here's the thing. Hard Knocks started. You guys got a text from me after week 3, and I was like, I gave him 8 wins. I think it's 7. Then the next week came. I watched another episode. I was like, 7 might be too much. I gave him 6 wins. The more I watched Hard Knocks and the more I was like, oh, we're going to try and win games with attitude. That does not work in the NFL, and that shit wears thin, especially on veterans. I think that this is going to be a rough start. The one thing that really translates early on is a run game. The Eagles have a great offensive line, and they have the ability to run the football and get easy passes now to A.J. Brown, who's essentially an extension of the run game on some plays. I think the Eagles win this game pretty easily, and a lot of people kind of lose momentum on the Lions after week 1, but have no fear. They're a better football team. It'll be interesting. Eagles, almost
Eagles, clean sweep for the Fly Eagles fly. Philadelphia Eagles on that one. There it is. Yeah, those speeches, those are really nice speeches by Dan Campbell. But throw them out in the pregame, bro. You don't need to take 30 minutes of practice to give that speech. Do it in the pregame. It'll be used a little bit better as more fuel then. Anyways, on to Indianapolis. Going to Houston to play the Houston Texans. I do think that the Texans will be a little bit better than last year. Davis Mills to Brandon Cooks and his weapons in year 2. They added Derek Stingley in the draft and a couple other pieces on defense. But just the overall team sense is that they're probably going to be, top of the draft again next year. While the Indianapolis Colts have a lot of hope. They've done this a couple times now with bringing in veteran quarterbacks, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, and now Matt Ryan, to plug in to what a lot of people view as, and I view as, one of the more complete rosters in the league. When you talk about a quarterback away, we talk about with all these teams, the Colts have been a quarterback away, and they just can't get the right guy in there with enough juice in the tank to make it happen late in the season. Will the Colts do it this year, and will the Colts take down the Texans in week 1, Joe?
Yeah, the Colts are going to dominate this game. It's not even going to be close. I'm not buying into Lovie Smith. I liked him when he was on the Bears, but now he went to being a college coach. He was underperforming. He was a defense coordinator last year who underperformed, and now we're supposed to believe that he's going to take a team that basically has just a bunch of talent that nobody wanted thrown in here. I don't know what they're doing with that roster in Houston. They're going to get blown out. Matt Ryan's going to come out here and show you that he's the old Matty Ice, and Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor going to have games.
Yeah, this is an unfortunate way to start the year for the Texans to get a team. The one bright spot is that Shaquille Leonard is not playing in this game, so maybe that helps Dameon Pierce have a good rookie debut. This is my last call to hype up, my last chance to hype up Nico Collins. Put him on your watch list, people. Going to have a lot of opportunity, I think, in the later part of this game to catch a touchdown in week 1, maybe have 80 yards, 5 catches, and be your waiver wire ad on Tuesday, Wednesday morning, whenever your waivers roll. Colts, easy.
We see it a lot with those stinky teams where, like, there's a number 1 wide receiver that just gets covered up, and then a guy like Marvin Jones, like, sneaks in and gets good games. Nico Collins can be that guy for the Texans when they're going after Brandon Cooks with defensive game plans. I'm going with the Colts as well, though. Clean sweep. Colts. Let's go, Indy. Blue's going to be happy, even though he talks shit in my comments almost every time I post about the Colts on TikTok. But anyways, on to New England.
That's right. Colts country.
I'll post something positive about the Colts, and he'll still leave a nasty comment at me in the comment section. I'm tired of him. I'm going to fight him if I ever see him. It's on site, Blue. I see you. We got the New England Patriots going to Miami to play the Miami Dolphins, and this is an interesting matchup because every year these two teams play each other tight. The Dolphins have been getting the victories as of late. Dolphins fans have reminded me, at least. But it's Bill Belichick. It's the New England Patriots. They're coming in with a similar team that they had last year that made it to the playoffs still. Yeah, they got wiped in the playoffs. They made it to the playoffs still. They were a good regular season team. They opened up the season against Miami last year and completely fumbled the game away. Literally fumbled the game away to Tua. I think that this year it's going to be a different story. But what do you think, Joe? The Dolphins got a lot of new pieces in that offense. They're going to have to field a new schematic defense at least. Is that going to cause a little bit of a slow start for Miami?
Well, I don't want the Miami Dolphins to do anything this year. You already know that, Mike. I don't want them to be good. I don't think Tua's good, but I think their schedule's good. I think New England is down this year, Mike. You already saw it if you guys watched our prediction on the AFC East. I'm down on the Patriots. I'm down on Bill Belichick. That Matt Patricia offensive mind, I don't know, he became an offensive genius all of a sudden, is going to look like crap. Mac Jones, everybody on that offense, there's going to be so much hype after this game on Miami. It's going to be sick. Like, you think the hype on Buffalo is good? Wait till Miami blows out New England and Tua and Tyreek do their thing, and people are going to be like, oh, until they get flat back to the reality. New England's one of the worst teams in the league this year.
What? That's crazy talk. They still have Belichick. They'll figure it out, and they might start slow, but they'll be a competitive football team. I think there's been a little too much offseason chaos for this to start, and too much positive upgrades for the Dolphins. I think they come out and have a strong showing. I think there's a lot of Tua hype on Monday, and the overreaction is Tua ready to go, because I think there's going to be easy completions to be had there with all that speed. It looks like Jalen Waddle is gonna play in this week. Mike McDaniel, a little bit of a wild card too, against Bill Belichick. Like, maybe there's an opportunity for him to out scheme and start his genius roll off in Miami nicely. Dolphins, they got this.
All right. I think I'm the only one on New England side for this one. I'm going with the Patriots. I think Bill Belichick knows how to disrupt teams that are trying to figure things out on the field in real time. The Dolphins are going to have to figure things out on the field with their new coach, new scheme, new weapons in the offense. Tua's not going to know what to do with his damn self, but I know what Matthew Judon's going to be doing with Tua's damn self. So I'm going with the New England Patriots in a close upset. I've been trying to pick which game to use my pick change jinx, and the Dolphins fans talking so much crap. I'm thinking about jinxing them, and then you guys are going to get a loss with me, but I've also thinking about using it on KC. That might be more productive for my cause. Anyways, I'm going Patriots. Joe and Tony on the Miami Dolphins. Let's go on to the next game. Baltimore Ravens dealing with Lamar Jackson contract disputes. It looks like Lamar is going to play. You're playing with fire, Lamar. But we know this Baltimore Ravens defense is going to be insane. A lot like what the Eagles did. They brought in a ton of new guys, a ton of depth, a ton of ballers to the Ravens defense, and it's going to be a similar offense to last year that we've seen. And in previous years, really just run the ball, play good defense, let Lamar Jackson be special. They're going to New York to play the New York Jets, who are fielding the Ravens' old quarterback, Joe Flacco. If they had Zach Wilson, maybe the Jets would stand a chance here. The Jets obviously added to defense, added to offense. They're still rebuilding this roster. Joe, any reason to take the Jets in an upset?
No reason at all. The Jets, they're not ready for it. They're a young team getting there. They had that offensive line injury, and they replaced him. I'm just trying to think of the name of the offensive lineman they replaced him with this offseason, but he's hurt. He's going to probably go on the IR. The Jets lose another one. Hopefully the defense can get up there, but this Baltimore offense is going to be enough. And let me tell you this right now. Baltimore's defense is going to be outstanding this year, and they get to go against Joe Flacco week 1. Joe Flacco week 1? Woo! If you have Baltimore's defense, put them in your lineup right now.
Looking for revenge.
I root for Robert Saleh, former NMU Wildcat, couple of alums from Northern Michigan University. You know how we roll. No, everybody's like, where the hell are you talking about? There's no chance. The Ravens are going to dominate this football game. They made it through the preseason, continuing to win games, but also they didn't lose a bunch of players that are going to be there. I don't think if you have J.K. Dobbins, I would not play him this week. I think Mike Davis has got a good shot to have 100 yards and be really great and effective in this game. There's a lot of young, exciting players to watch on the Jets, and that's about where it ends for them on that side. So it's easy for me to take the Ravens in this one.
Yeah, they messed up in my Vampire League. I'm going with the Ravens as well. They messed up in my Vampire League. I didn't get to draft the team, right? I'm the Vampire. But they didn't draft Mike Davis.
Yeah, that's somebody's got to take that off your plate. Like any of those players that are going to get run.
You think you just be playing defense at that point, right? And just get him off because week one I have a chance to throw him in my lineup.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Great.
Blowing.
Anyways, let's go on past the phone call. Jacksonville heading to Washington, and we've been ranting and raving about this Jacksonville offseason. They brought in something, is what I keep saying when people ask me about the Jaguars, how I think they're going to do this year. Last year, nothing. This year, they brought in something. They brought in some talent to put around their franchise quarterback, or who they want to be their franchise quarterback, in Trevor Lawrence. And they also brought in a coach that has been known for turning teams around in his head coaching career so far. What he did in Philadelphia is what he's looking to do in Jacksonville, Doug Peterson. And for the Washington Commanders, they got to change at quarterback and upgrade at quarterback. In my opinion, they drafted another receiver to put with Terry McLaurin to attack offenses down the field, especially when Carson Wentz gets the mix in. Sometimes it doesn't go well for him, but sometimes he can create some extra time and his receivers get open down the field and he can send it down to him. Washington's defense is looking to return. I don't think Chase Young is playing in this game, but Washington's defense is looking to return to what it was a couple of years ago. Who are you going with, Joe? Who are you going with? This is a fun one, I think.
This is a toss-up one because you want to see Jacksonville come back, right? You want to see Jacksonville do their thing under Doug Peterson. You want to see Trevor Lawrence to see if it was just Urban Meyer who screwed him up last year or if it was just the NFL being too much for him. They have the weapons in Jacksonville. They invest in their offense, but I don't think they invested enough in their defense, and that's what's kind of scaring me. I want to see what their defense does this year. I truly believe that Carson Wentz got the bad end of the stick last year in Indianapolis. A lot of blame for nothing. Carson Wentz is going to come out. He has the weapons. You talked about it. Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson going to come out there. Antonio Gibson, he has a chip on his shoulder because he was down in the depth chart until what happened this offseason. And now he's back in the mix. J.D. McKissick coming out of the backfield. I like what Washington is doing. I like Washington's defense just enough, but both of them have both of these secondaries are going to be bad. So this could potentially be one of those shootout games. Two horrible teams in a shootout, putting up 30-plus points each, but I'm going with is it the Commanders or the Commandos? What are we calling them? What's their short name for them?
There is
Red Wolves.
Red
I'm going Commando. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, I went back and forth on this game. This was the hardest game for me to pick because I root for the Jaguars. And I think that the Jaguars are going to eventually have a really good defense. The Trayvon Walker, they brought in Aluakon, they drafted Devin Lloyd. So they put together a really nice defense to stop the run. I don't think that that's going to be the motivation for Washington in this. I think they're going to take advantage of the mismatches. I think they get back Curtis Samuel in this game too. So they have a lot of weapons there. And I do think, like Joe said, this game has a chance to have a lot of points in it. And I'm going to err on the side of 30-27 Commanders. They're ready to start to take command.
And Joe, you want to talk about how they're going to be talking about Tua after this week? I think the league is going to be talking about Trevor Lawrence after this week. He just spent an entire offseason with the QB guru, and we already knew the talent that this guy has, the size that this guy has, the cannon that this guy has. It just seems like he needs the coaching, and he's got it now. I think that Trevor Lawrence goes off on Washington, and I think that it will be a high-scoring game because the Jaguars secondary is a little bit suspect. But that Jaguars front seven by around mid-season is going to be scaring some teams, and they're going to be wrecking some havoc. So I think that it opens up strong here for the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence has like a 350-yard game.
Boom! There it is.
Bada boom. 353 touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence. Look it. Put it on your wall, Tony.
That is the most uninspiring logo I've ever seen. It looks like a patch you would get from like the Boy Scouts. It's like, I got my commander's badge at Boy Scouts this weekend.
Well, I don't know why they went with the W as the main logo because they haven't been catching very many W's as of late.
Oh no, their WC washcloth.
You have to speak it into existence.
You got to speak it into existence. All right, on to Arizona, where the Super Bowl will be played this year. The Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, now has his best friend Marquise Brown in town. The rest of the Cardinals offense looked good looks like it did last year when they were pretty electric with James Conner and Zach Ertz and AJ Green and all these guys. D-Hop missed most of last season. I keep getting points that the Cardinals will be held back by losing D-Hop first 6 games. They're going to look the same as they did early on last year, I think. The defense is going to be similar as well. It's a little bit of a weaker defense. This could be a super shootout. They're hosting the Kansas City Chiefs, who lost Tyreek Hill. So we're going to see how that adjustment is on offense. The Chiefs, I think, started their starters for 3 drives in the preseason. All 3 drives, 12 plays with 6 different receivers touching the football, like just spreading the ball out like a maniac out of the Kansas City Chiefs. Joe, who do you think has the edge? Who are you taking in this game?
You guys already know where I'm at this offseason. I'm fade the Cardinals. Fade the Cardinals. I just traded Marquise Brown yesterday in a dynasty league because I was like, he ain't doing nothing all year. And then I get here and I'm like, now I got to pick the Chiefs over the Cardinals. I don't want to do that either because I don't want the Chiefs to win. It'd be nice if the Cardinals could win, but they're not going to do it because they have Cliff Kingsbury as their damn coach still. And Kyler Murray over there trying to call plays. It's not going to be good. They're all banged up. There's no way that Connor can redo everything he did from last season. It's not going to happen. Kansas City comes out there. I'm not going to say Kansas City is going to win great and they're not going to look amazing, but Kansas City is going to pull this win off.
So this is the Cliff Kingsbury Bowl, right? Because didn't he coach Patrick Mahomes in college and somehow made him not look like the first overall pick, and then gets Kyler Murray, and now Kyler Murray looks like I won't go there. But this game should be interesting. Lots of points. Joe, I think you traded Hollywood Brown a week too early because I think there's an opportunity for him to take advantage of maybe a questionable secondary to start the year for KC. Spagnuolo will eventually coach them up. But then Hollywood Brown has 0 competitions out there. Rondell Moore doesn't look like he's going to play. No D-Hop. Like Trey McBride could be a sneaky play if you play daily fantasy this week for them. I think it's a lot of points, but ultimately I don't want to say this, but the Chiefs are going to be headed. It's going to be 1-0 Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime. Chargers eventually will get there. We'll dominate and win.
We got a barn burner. We got a shootout coming. And the Cardinals last year started like 7-0. The year before that, I think they started 4-0 or 5-0. They come out hot and they come out guns a-blazing when Kyler Murray's at full health. Now he gets a little banged up. You can tell those injuries affect his ability to avoid sacks, but he thinks he can. And then he starts throwing balls into tight windows, and all of a sudden things fall apart for the Cardinals. But for week 1, the Cardinals are coming out. They're going to be hot as they were in the week 1 of the previous seasons, and they're upsetting the Chiefs in front of the entire world. And then the Chargers are going to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to be 0-2 going into week 3. Can't wait.
Andreas is saying Zach Ertz might not play either?
Don't care. I think Trey McBride is a beast. I'm still going with the Chiefs or with the Cardinals.
He absolutely is. He would have been, I don't know if he was the first tight end taken, but he would have been the tight end that I would have taken.
There it is. Put it on the board.
This is Mike's wishful thinking pick of the week. Ding, 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 ding.
This is Mike giving us a free win right here.
Yeah.
Nope.
Like Mike's like, I want somebody else besides himself to win a jersey. Here it is. There's a free win, so I get a loss automatically.
Well, me and Tony are about to get a free win as well. Mike's game of the week. We got the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to LA. You guys are going to see it in person. I'm sure you're both going to have very different reactions to that game, no matter the result. The Raiders, obviously, bringing in Devontae Adams, bringing in Chandler Jones. You can't tell me, and people have told me this, you can't tell me that the Raiders didn't get better this offseason. But then you go and look at the Chargers, and you can't tell me the Chargers didn't get better this offseason. Bringing in Khalil Mack, the old Raider. Bringing in J.C. Jackson, who's probably not going to be available for this game. Bryce Callahan, Sebastian Joseph-Day. The Chargers replaced, I counted, 11 starters from last year on offense, defense, and special teams to today. All those guys that started last year that got walked on in the run defense and the pass defense in Week 18 are depth pieces, way pushed back in the depth chart. So both these teams improved from last time they played, and it was an absolute show last time they played. Joe, I'm sure you're taking the Chargers, right?
Well, no. I'm taking the silver and black, of course. I'll represent them all the way. Just to let you know, yes, both teams have gotten better, but only one team was better than them last year. It was still the Raiders. It's going to come out there. Our pass rush is going to dominate. And then our wide receivers, you guys have no answer for them. Your defense, all of a sudden, we're supposed to say that your defense is going to gel. Your defense is going to go from 25th to number 3 in the league because you brought some players in that never played together, and they're going to all gel together in just a couple weeks of practice. Come on, right now. The Raiders are going to come out here, and they're going to dominate this game from the start to finish, and they're going to show you who the best team in the division is and who's going to move on in the AFC.
It's hilarious. So your argument is that we brought in a bunch of players that have never played together. You guys brought in a bunch of players that are no names that have never played together.
What's a good coach?
Players we brought in have talent. I don't want to belabor the point. 30-24, Chargers win this. It's going. I cannot wait to be on the next show with Joe Morley after this game.
Yeah, Joe.
All I'm gonna say is I was going to tell Tony, like, hey, after the game, maybe we'll meet up, but I don't want to see Tony after the game because he's probably going to want to fight me because he's going to be so mad of all the crap I'm going to be talking to him and letting him know that his team is still on the bottom and he chose the wrong team.
Yeah, Joe, you and the rest of the Raider Nation, you shelled out your cash last year to black out SoFi Stadium just to see your team get beat by 2 touchdowns, and it's going to happen again this year. 38-21 Chargers.
I'm taking the Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders.
2-1. 2 beats 1. Let us know in the comments. This is Mike's Game of the Week. Who you guys got? Raiders or Chargers? Put it in the chat. We'll move on to the next game. We'll get back to that if we got some extra time. Oh, they're already putting it in there?
Max loves some shitbird.
Darren, go find out how many times has Max Crosby stacked shitbird.
That was weak.
In 4 games.
The Chargers tomorrow. All 10 fans are going to be sad, crying in their mom's arms. J.C. Jackson ain't playing. He might, but I doubt it. He's a game time decision. He hasn't. Read that right there, Mike. I don't know what that says. No? All right.
Fakers. Remember last time? Fakers. As you guys were leaving 10 minutes before the
Mike,
game ended.
your favorite guy is in the comment section, Jason Thomas.
Jason Thomas, let's make a bet right now. If the Chargers win the division, you put a Chargers logo on that car. The same prediction I have, pretty much. You want some score?
Anyway, we got to move on because
we got 4 more.
As hell.
We got 4 more games. We got the New York Giants going to Tennessee to play the Tennessee Titans. The Giants they're crumbling, man. And Brian Daboll may want to hit the rebuild button after this season. They still have weapons on offense. They got Saquon Barkley. If Kenny Golladay can return to what Kenny Golladay was in Detroit, they got Kenny Golladay. They got Darius Slayton. They got Sterling Shepard. Like, they got names. They got guys that are talented that just never comes together around Danny Dimes there. Danny Dimes usually either gets hurt or just plays awful. The Giants are also going through a transition on defense. They cut Blake Martinez. They traded James Bradbury away. Not too many things are going right for the Giants this offseason. On the other side of the ball, Tennessee Titans obviously lost A.J. Brown to all of the wide receiver contract frenzies that were going on. They draft Treylon Burks, who's hopefully going to replace him. And they got a veteran, Robert Woods, out wide as well. Derrick Henry, I think, is going to run all over the Giants tomorrow. But, Joe, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I kind of, there's a little bit of me that want to root for Danny Dimes and the New York Giants and get them back on track. But this isn't the game to get them on track. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than we all think because, I don't know, I'm not buying Ryan Tannehill and this offense, and they have some kinks to work out too, right? A.J. Brown's gone. Now they got to get Burks involved. They got to get the other guys involved, the offensive line ready to go. And are you guys sold on that Titans defense? Because if Barkley's back the way he's supposed to be back and the way people are believing in Barkley being back this year, it could just be the Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley show. And that would be something that I would tune in to watch all night because I love watching both of those running backs when they're 100%. But I'm not going with the Giants.
You guys named all those players on the Giants, and you forgot about T-Mobile. Tyrod Taylor, who could come into the game. He's the only reason that makes me a little nervous about making it this my lock of the week, is that if Brian Daboll is smart enough to come out in the second half and go, you know what, Tyrod, save me right now. Get on the field and win this game for us. But if he doesn't, which I don't think that he will, Titans got this one. Easy. They're going to run the ball. They're going to pass the ball. They're going to take the ball away. They're going to do whatever they want.
You're giving a game plan away, Tony. Running and passing the ball. Stop it. Stop it.
I got the Titans also. Derrick Henry's going nuts. It's going nuts.
Oh, clean sweep.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. All right. On to the Green Bay Packers. This is an anticipated game. Going to Minnesota to play the Minnesota Vikings. The Packers obviously lost Devontae. What is this? Jake, you got to go back to the drawing board, reassess that the Raiders offense is no chance at putting up 42 points in the Chargers. If y'all are going to win, it's going to be like 21-17. That's your only route to victory. And we just handed the ball off to Max Crosby.
Hold on a second. Let me address this comment before we move on. Andreas, earlier in the show, you said Kirk Cousins is a sneaky MVP. And then now you're saying Derek Carr wins it. You'll be amazed. Come on.
Well, Kirk Cousins is way better than Derek Carr. Let's just get that out of the way. But speaking of Kirk Cousins, we're on that game. So it's a good time to go ahead and pick the Packers, Joe, if you don't believe in Kirk Cousins. I know you believe in Kirk Cousins. We got Green Bay versus Minnesota. The Vikings are going to be a similar team, but they got the huge addition at head coach to an offensive head coach. I've been demanding this. Me and my buddy is a huge Vikings fan. We've dreamed about a Vikings versus Chargers Super Bowl to happen one day because both of our teams fail us every single year. But we have talked about it for years that the Vikings have a crazy offense and they need a damn offensive coach in there, and they finally got it. O'Connell is going to make this offense electric. The Packers, though, have owned the North, and Aaron Rodgers said it just a couple days ago that all these NFC North teams, every year, their fan bases, everyone's buzzing about who's taking the North. But every year, it comes back to the cheese. It comes back to the green. Joe, this is a great opener for both these teams to prove themselves. Who do you got?
Skull Nation, or whatever they call themselves. We are already, I guess, we ruined Justin Jefferson for Tony. Tony now hates Justin Jefferson because me and Mike have been talking about how great we see him being this year and that offense, because I'm excited. They finally went from a defensive head coach to an offensive head coach, and they're going to put up points because that's what you got to do. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers laid an egg last season in week 1, and everybody thought they're done. They're going to start out slow. They don't know who their wide receiver is going to be. It's going to be funny when Sammy Watkins leads this team in receptions and yards, and everybody's like, oh, that's the guy. And they go pick him up. They got to find out. They got some identity crisis on offense a little bit. I hope they don't. I hope they feed A.J. Dillon and then hit Aaron Jones out of the backfield. I'm hoping that's what we see. But I like what I see from Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, go off because I got you. I got a lot of shares in Dalvin Cook. So if I can get 200-plus yards all-purpose and a couple TDs from Cook, I'll take it. But then again, I'm starting Green Bay defense, so I'm kind of screwed.
Let's make a quick clarification. I don't hate Justin Jefferson. I hate how much you guys disrespect Cooper Kupp. That's what I hate. Okay, I want to go with this angle. It's going to be a bumpy start for the Packers. One, figuring out the wide receiver thing. But the other thing, the offensive line. What's going on with Bakhtiari? I'm blanking on the name of the other tackle. If he's out there, this could be a really rough start, just like it was last year for Green Bay. They got to get healthy, and they got to figure out how the identity is going to be formed and things are going to go. I do think this last thing on Green Bay, Big Bob Robert Tonyan could end up being the number one player in the passing game for the Green Bay Packers.
How often do you get 3 guys calling an upset on the screen at once? We got 3 guys here that are going for the Minnesota Vikings. I'm a little bit scared of the Vikings defense, but that Bakhtiari storyline, he's going to have to face Danielle Hunter, one of the more electric pass rushers in the league right now. He's also coming off an injury. I think if Danielle Hunter can win that matchup, the Vikings defense can do enough to where their offense can take over. The Packers have a great defense as well. This is a tough call, but I'm going Vikings also. Skull Vikes. There we go. Skull
There
Vikes.
you go. Upset alert. Upset. Do it, Tony. I don't know how to do
Right there.
Breaking news. But next up. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
I've been high on Minnesota all off season. If you guys watched our prediction show, it's one of my Super Bowl favorites, right? So I like what Minnesota doing. Get them off to a fast start, and why not in a division game? And didn't Minnesota beat Green Bay a couple times last year, or at least one time last year?
They beat them last year once, yeah. And it being in Minnesota helps the Vikings a little bit too.
I saw something about it's been like 730 days since Green Bay has beat Kirk Cousins, because they beat the Vikings last year, but it was like in week 18 when they rested everybody.
That's funny. I like that meme.
Kirk Cousins season. All right, let's go on to the Sunday night football matchup. We got a rematch from last year's season opener. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady and what's left of that offensive line still has his weapons out wide. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and they added Julio Jones. The defense should be similar to previous years. Going to Dallas to play the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry's world, where Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb looking to take his leap into elite wide receiver stardom, and their guys there are going to be taking on Tom Brady. This is interesting because there's a lot of storylines. There's fail points for both sides. There's fail points for both teams. I think both these teams got a little bit worse in the offseason, but it is Tom Brady. Joe, any reason to go away from Tom Brady?
How you guys know how much I love the Dallas Cowboys, how much I want to root for the Dallas Cowboys to win, how much I want to see Dak Prescott come out and show us how great of a quarterback he is. There's nothing better than to wake up on Monday morning after a Dallas Cowboys victory, right? That's like the greatest feeling in the world, to wake up and be like, know deep down in our hearts that there's still them boys out there, right? That's what we love. Hell no. This is the greatest time of the year, Tony, when we get to see Dallas Cowboy fans cry. And even in this game where I'm like, dude, is Tom Brady washed, or we don't want to play? Is he doing the Masked Singer? Is he having problems? We don't know. But every time we doubt Tom Brady, every time we say the Buccaneers are going to suck, or Tom Brady's not going to come out and do what he's going to do, he comes out and he throws for 450 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he gets to throw all over the best cornerback in the world, Trayvon Diggs, right? He gets to go after him all damn day. This defense is going to get lit up. The Buccaneers defense is going to have a great time. It's going to be this right here. Dallas Cowboy fans, get some tissue next to you for the whole damn game, because you're going to be crying from start to finish. And then we're going to be talking about how bad and how bad the Cowboys look, and if they should fire Mike McCarthy after week 1.
Tony, you think Skip Bayless going to be dancing?
Well, either way, because he's a Tom Brady truther or he's a Cowboys lover. So either way, he wins in this game. But I think this game is closer. Last opening Thursday night, this was one of the most entertaining games of the season. A lot of us just forgot about it because the season went on and it was so tremendous. But I could see a scenario in which this is an ugly sort of Tom Brady is the GOAT kind of a fourth quarter, go down there, get a field goal, win the game, get out of there football game. They both have a lot of question marks opening the season, and it starts with their offensive lines. So whichever one can hold up nicely in game 1, that is the team that'll win. And I think it's Tom Brady making quick decisions, taking checkdowns, and not getting turnovers is what the difference maker is in this game.
I'm with you, Tony. I do think this will be an entertaining game once again. That's why they put it on Sunday Night Football. But I think the Bucs have more mismatches. I think the Bucs have more efficiency, and the Bucs have more consistency. So I'm gonna go with the Bucs as well.
Yep, there it is.
Sweep it on up, Tony.
I wish I could go.
Cameron Brate at tight end if you're looking to fill in for George Kittle and you don't want to make a trade. I like Cameron Brate in this match.
I'm not 100.
Cameron Brate's never been a bad tight end. Like, they just got Gronk for a couple of years, and they were like, yeah, he has to upgrade. But Cameron Brate, when playing and starting, has always been a good tight end. And
Brady's tight end is going to get fed. Brady feeds his tight end, so sneaky play this week.
And then we get Julio Jones.
Yeah. Keep an eye on Cade Otton as well. I believe I took Dallas to win this game last year, so I'm not going to make the same mistake again. Last game. We got another revenge game. Drew Lock. Wait. Getting some news. Geno Smith won the job? But they told me that Drew Lock was the franchise quarterback. Okay. Yeah, I'll fix it. Correction. Geno Smith will be hosting Russell Wilson in Seattle. Russell Wilson now is a Denver Bronco traveling to play his old team. I think the tears are going to be flowing out of Russ's face in the pregame. Is there like one of those weird prop bets that I can put in where it's like Russell Wilson cries in the pregame? Anyways, Denver obviously gets Russell Wilson. They've been saying they're a quarterback away for like 3 or 4 years now. They got that quarterback, and the team should be stacked. That's what Denver fans say, at least. Seattle obviously is going through a little bit of a transition period, trying to figure out who their franchise quarterback is going to be going forward. Joe, who are you taking in this game? You think Seattle gets the upset and tells Russ, like, hey, man, made a big mistake?
Bronco country, let's ride. Broncos country. Come on, Tony, say it with me. Let's ride. No.
You got to do it a little cooler. You got to be like this, like Broncos country. Let's ride.
They stole that from us, by the way. They stole that from us.
Nothing would make me happier than to watch Geno Smith take down the Broncos and Russell Wilson, right? That would be such an amazing feat. All of us would stand up and cheer. I'd make it Geno Smith Day, a national holiday for it. But the Seahawks they're down this year. Like, I think Tony is saying that they're might be tanking this year, as what some people call it.
Mike said
it. Mike said it?
Yeah.
They just don't have they're I don't know. I'm really hoping that Seattle finds the energy, and maybe Pete Carroll knows something about Russell Wilson and knows how to beat him and knows his weakness, that he can send some stuff at him. I just don't think they have the talent in Seattle like they used to the last couple of years, or else I might be going with them. But, man, I hate to say this, but Russell Wilson and the Broncos.
All right. So I've been distracted because I am watching the Seahawks QB right now struggle with the Texas Longhorns. Bryce Young on Alabama is playing. That is who they're playing for. Mike is completely right. He's been calling for this tank like since the trade of Russell Wilson. The idea that you would choose 70-something gum chewing Pete Carroll over Russell Wilson and another few years of that means that there is a lack of ownership for them. I think the Broncos, this is an easy win for them. Like, I really don't see this game being close at all. Maybe in the first half, they rally the home fans. The 12th man fires them up. But the Broncos defense is my streaming defense in fantasy of the week. I have them in 5 leagues. They are going to absolutely dismantle Geno Smith and whatever is left. Hopefully Rashad Penny can make it through a full game. This is bad news. I don't know why they put this game on Monday night.
Yeah, I have beef with the schedule makers. I'm going with the Broncos as well. I hope that Geno Smith gets out there and scores in the opening drive just to see that crowd go nuts, but I think the Broncos are going to win. But yeah, I have beef with the schedule makers. AFC West teams, right? They give the Chiefs a good test with Arizona. They got a good quarterback. They got a good team. They made the playoffs last year. They put the Chargers against the Raiders. You know what happened with those two teams last year, both battling for playoff spots last year. And they get the Broncos, the Seahawks. Why don't you send them to Dallas or give them the Dolphins or have them host the Ravens? Like, why? What is this?
So I think I saw somewhere where they had they had this schedule made. They had this matchup made for week 1 before the trade. And then once the trade happened, they were like, oh, it's great because they're going to be able to get television ratings. They're going to be able to prompt this up. All Monday, there's just going to be all this conversation about it. The problem is by the middle of the second quarter, I don't even think this is going to be a football game. I really don't understand like how they think it's going to be a draw for us to watch the second half of this game. Unless you're addicted to football, MJT Football Channel will be here. And if it is a Pete Carroll victory, I will find my way to the garage. I will laugh. I'll dust off my Harlem Shake Diddy style. I'm dancing at the Seahawks.
I gotta do. They should just let Matt Hasselbeck play this game. Screw it.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Omar just brought this to our attention. I didn't know this, Omar, but I guess he said that it was part of the trade clause that Drew Lock could not start against the Broncos in week 1. So all this was just a part of the trade.
It wasn't that Drew Lock lost his starting job back-to-back training camps. No, it wasn't that.
Omar just said it was part. The Broncos knew how good Drew Lock was, and they said, yeah, we'll get him, but he can't start week 1.
Yeah, one of my best buddies is a huge Broncos fan, and he told me every single season that Drew Lock was an MVP candidate, and I kept telling him that he's not even a candidate to lead your franchise in a couple of years. Even up until last year, they chose Teddy Bridgewater. I sent him a message. I said, MVP candidate, ? And he said, these coaches are stupid. I don't know what the hell they're doing Well, what are they doing in Seattle now? Now they're picking Geno Smith all-star. Those coaches stupid. It's just Drew Lock's going to the XFL. He'll be an MVP of the XFL. That's where this all started, and it's going to come full circle for me. And that prediction is going to come true.
So Zero said that this is the easy one because he's going to be pissed off if Seattle wins because he's taking the Broncos in his survivor pool.
Well, Zero, change your pick. Take the Chargers in the survivor pool. Change your pick, and you'll be safe.
He's messing with us. I know he's a Cowboys fan, so he has questionable decision-making to begin with, but, like, come on.
Johnny Manziel all over again. Yeah, without the booze.
Yeah, I would say that was a worse fail than Drew Lock. But we did it. That's the show. We picked every single game. We'll come back next week. We'll try and do it a little bit quicker next week, and we'll have our record results from this week. So then we'll continue it on throughout the rest of the year. I think we're going to add locks and upsets. Maybe we can add bonus points for getting either one of those right as well. We're going to have locks and upsets next week, so you guys get your locks and your upsets ready in your mind. If you want to join the Pickems Challenge, you still can. It's not too late. You're only down. You're 0-1, just like the three of us. So you're not down anything. Head down below, click that link, submit your picks for week 1, and then for every week afterwards, we're going to be running this thing. Did Bryce Young just score a touchdown?
No, Texas is about to upset Alabama right now, and I'm fucking pumped.
Man. I need to turn on some college football.
You know what else I'll do? I'll add the polls.
Quinn Ewers went down in the first quarter, and they are about to upset Alabama with their backup QB. This is great.
Quinn is screwed. Oh, it's a signs to come. Isn't that where Arch is going?
Yeah, let's end the show. We'll talk.
Okay. Everyone submit your picks. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm the NFLMike. I'm here with Joe Morley, Tony Tucker. We will see you guys next time, which will be post week 1, I believe.
And remember, if you post your picks or you do anything, hashtag it Mike's Pick'em Challenge.
You got it, Joe. Thank you for looking out. Mike's Pick'ems Challenge. TikTok, Instagram, anywhere. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Tune in Monday when we find out the Cowboys are still them boys.
The Raiders suck.